at the White House, in front of the world media. Donald Trump could have easily savaged, shredded Anthony Albanese over his idiotic recognition of Palestine, over his moronic anti-Trump comments, over our mad net zero policies and much, much more besides. But Donald Trump shrewdly kept his criticism and his derision aimed squarely on our useless ambassador, Kevin Rudd. Donald Trump knows he needs Australia. He needs our rare earths. He needs our critical minerals. So we are looking sweet for the foreseeable future. I applaud Albanese for recognising that our national interest and our national security, and indeed his own prime ministership, now rests with Albo having a close relationship with Donald Trump and the US administration. Prime Minister Albanese has managed to recognise what Peter Dutton so utterly and idiotically failed to recognise, and what the entire Liberal Party machine at the last election also so idiotically failed to recognise. A close association with Trump can only bring political success. Success, not failure, you nitwits. The Albo-Trump bromance is now 2 weeks old, yet every day I scan the newspapers looking for all those political commentators, including many so-called conservatives, who have repeatedly and endlessly told us that Trump is political kryptonite, to come out and advise Albanese to urgently distance himself from toxic Trump, to avoid Trump at all costs, to have nothing to do with Trump. Because Trump is poison to Australian politicians. Because that is what all of them said repeatedly to Peter Dutton a year ago after Trump was elected. I, and I alone, maintained steadfast throughout the federal election campaign, and I editorialised repeatedly on this show and in The Spectator Australia that Dutton must embrace Donald Trump, that Peter Dutton had to embrace Donald Trump. I can't remember the number of times here on Outside as I urged Peter Dutton to get on a plane to Washington, be one of the first to be photographed proudly standing alongside Donald Trump, congratulating him in the White House. I repeatedly urged the Liberals to drive a wedge between themselves and Labor by making being an ally of Trump's United States a key strength for the coalition. Instead, the bedwetting libs did the complete opposite, shamefully admonishing Senator Jacinta Price simply for saying, "Let's make Australia great again." What absolute buffoons, you clowns. Now look, as Albo grins and smiles from one continent to another, popping the bubbly alongside his new mate Donald Trump. And yet for advocating that the coalition openly embraced Trump, I was derided and ridiculed not only by the left, I don't care about them, but more sickeningly by nearly every other political commentator on the right. Where are you all now, all you so-called political geniuses? I spent yesterday poring over all the mainstream newspapers looking for all those "Trump is toxic and Australians all hate Trump, beware Albo, being associated with Trump is political poison Albo" opinion pieces. As I said before, nothing. Not a whisper. Not a word. What a bunch of cowards and clowns you all are. Anyway, I thought I'd get that off my chest.